Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked around and felt like everyone else is moving faster than you? Like they're ticking all the boxes, getting degrees, traveling the world, landing great jobs, getting married, buying houses, and meanwhile, you're just trying to get through the day. If you've ever had that sinking feeling, like you're behind or somehow failing at life, you are not alone. So many of us, especially in our 20s and 30s, carry this quiet fear that we're not doing enough or not doing it fast enough. But in this episode, I want to tell you something really important. You are not behind. Not at all. And today, we're going to talk about why. So if you've been feeling that pressure, that comparison trap, or just the weight of self-doubt, I hope you'll stay with me. Because by the end of this episode, I want you to walk away with a new mindset, one that helps you feel calm, grounded, and proud of where you are right now, even if it's not where you thought you'd be. What will you gain by listening to this episode? Now, I know you've probably heard motivational stuff before. You've seen the quotes, the reels, maybe even listened to other podcasts. But here's what makes this different. This episode is not just about cheering you up. It's about rewiring how you think. We're going to unpack why that I'm behind feeling shows up in the first place, how social pressure and culture influence your thoughts, and most importantly, how to shift into a healthier mindset. One that lets you feel more peace, not only in your language journey, but in your life as a whole. And I'm going to speak to you just like a friend or coach would. No pressure, no fake positivity, just honest thoughts, real experiences, and simple but powerful English that you can understand, reflect on, and grow with. So grab a tea or coffee, get comfortable, and let's begin this journey together. Where does this pressure to be on time even come from? So let's think about it. Where does this idea of being behind in life even come from? I mean, who made the schedule we're all supposed to follow? Because if you look closely, no one really agrees on what the timeline is. In some countries, people move out at 18. In others, people stay with family until 30 or more. Some people marry young. Others don't marry at all. Some have careers by 25, while others try 5 different jobs before they find the right one. The truth is, this pressure doesn't come from some natural law. It comes from comparison. From seeing what others are doing and feeling like we're not doing the same. It comes from social media, culture, family expectations, and even the voice inside our own heads. But that voice, the one saying, "You're too late," or "You should have done more by now," it's not the truth. It's just a thought. And like any thought, it can be questioned, challenged, and replaced with something kinder. Is there really a right time for everything? We've all heard that phrase, haven't we? There's a right time for everything. But what does that even mean? Right time according to whom? Life is not a race, and it's definitely not a straight path. Sometimes the best things in life happen later than we expected. Sometimes, something we thought was a delay was actually preparation. Preparation for something better, something more aligned with who we truly are. I'll tell you something personal. I used to think I was late in building my career. I watched people around me grow quickly while I was still figuring things out. But now I look back and realize I needed that time to grow, to explore, to fail, to learn who I was. If I had rushed, I might have built a life that wasn't truly mine. So maybe, just maybe, you're not late. You're right on time for the life that's meant for you. Why does social media make us feel behind? Let's talk about the biggest thief of peace today. Social media. I mean, think about it. We scroll through perfectly edited photos, people announcing promotions, engagements, travel adventures, And it looks like everyone is living their best life. And when you're sitting at home in your pajamas, maybe after a long day or a bad week, that can hit hard. But remember, you are comparing your full, real, complicated life to someone else's highlight reel. That's not fair to you. You don't see the stress behind the smiles or the doubts behind the captions. And honestly, most people don't post their failures or boring days. So if you're measuring your progress by what you see online, you'll always feel behind. The key is to reconnect with your own timeline. Your real offline life, that's the only timeline that matters. What if slow progress is still amazing progress? Here's something we often forget. Slow progress is still progress. Think about it. When a tree grows, we don't sit there yelling at it to hurry up. We understand that it takes time and that growth is happening even when we don't see it. It's the same with you. Maybe you're learning English, but you feel like it's taking too long. Maybe you're working on your health, or your career, or a relationship, and it feels like nothing is changing. But slow steps are powerful. They build strength, character, and resilience. Fast results might feel exciting, but slow ones are often deeper and more lasting. So if you've been moving slowly, don't apologize for it. Celebrate it. It means you're being thoughtful, intentional, and real. And in the long run, that's what truly matters. How can you start trusting your own pace? So, how do you stop feeling behind and start trusting your own pace? It begins with one simple but powerful habit: listening to yourself. Not your fears. Not society. Not your phone. Just you. Take a quiet moment, maybe during a walk or a few minutes before bed, and ask yourself, what do I actually want? Not what you should want. Not what others expect, but what feels meaningful, fulfilling, and honest for you. When you do that regularly, your confidence grows. You start to realize that your journey is unique, and no one else can walk it for you. And with that trust, the comparison fades. You stop needing to explain your pace to anyone, because it's yours. You own it. And that's the beginning of real peace. What if your detour is actually the main road? Sometimes we think we've taken a wrong turn in life. Maybe you didn't finish university, or your job didn't work out, or you had to start over in a new country. And you look around and think, this wasn't the plan. But what if that so-called detour is actually the main road? What if it's leading you somewhere better than what you imagined? Life is full of surprises, and some of the best moments come from the most unexpected places. The truth is, your journey is not broken. It's just different. And different doesn't mean worse. It means original. So instead of seeing your path as a mistake, try seeing it as a unique story that's still being written. You might be in the middle of a chapter that doesn't make sense yet, but that doesn't mean the ending won't be beautiful. How can you speak to yourself with more kindness? Let me ask you something honest. If a friend came to you and said, I feel like I'm behind, like I've failed, what would you say to them? Would you criticize them? Tell them to do more or be faster? Of course not. You'd listen. You'd tell them they're doing their best. You'd remind them of how far they've come. So why is it so hard to speak to ourselves that way? Why is our self-talk so mean sometimes? The truth is, we often believe that being hard on ourselves will push us to do better, but usually it just makes us feel worse. Kindness is not weakness. It's fuel. It gives us strength to keep going. So today, I invite you to notice your inner voice, and if it sounds too harsh, try softening it, the way you would for someone you love. Because you deserve that love too. So, are you really behind in life? Now that we've spent this time together, let's come back to the big question. Are you really behind in life? Or have you just been carrying someone else's definition of success? Think about that. Maybe you've been chasing timelines that were never meant for you. Maybe you've been measuring yourself against people who have nothing to do with your purpose. What if, instead of running to catch up, you slowed down to catch your breath? What if you trusted that your path is unfolding in its own way, at the right time, and in the right direction? By letting go of the pressure to be on schedule, you give yourself freedom. Freedom to grow at your own pace, to rest when you need to, and to enjoy the moments that matter. So no, you are not behind. You are becoming. And that's a beautiful place to be.